Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines.
Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi is likely to arrive in Islamabad on Friday night. According to a Pakistani government source, Araghchi is expected to be accompanied by a small delegation as preparations continue for possible peace talks between Iran and the United States. The source further revealed that a U.S. logistics and security team has already reached Islamabad ahead of the expected negotiations. Just before leaving, Araghchi said in a statement that he would be visiting Islamabad, Muscat, and Moscow to closely coordinate with Iran's partners on bilateral matters and to consult on regional developments. He underscored that Iran's neighbors are a priority in the current foreign policy circuit. Meanwhile, Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esmail Baghaei said that peace talks between the United States and Iran should focus on ending the war in a way that would secure Iran's interests and demands. In an interview, he said that nuclear weapons could no longer be their main subject of talks. Meanwhile, U.S. envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are set to leave for Islamabad on Saturday for Pakistan-mediated talks with Iran. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt says Tehran is willing to engage directly, with Donald Trump open to giving diplomacy a chance. Vice President JD Vance is not currently planning to attend, but he will be on standby to travel to Islamabad if negotiations progress.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has telephoned Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq and Field Marshal Asim Munir to discuss the regional situation and ceasefire-related issues. Iranian media reported that the calls come as Pakistan continues efforts to support a ceasefire between the United States and Iran and push for renewed negotiations. Moreover, the United States has deployed a third aircraft carrier to waters near Iran, sharply increasing the military force available to President Donald Trump as he presses Tehran to surrender its nuclear program, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, and agree to end a weeks-long regional war. The US military confirmed that the USS George H.W. Bush has arrived in the US Central Command Area of Responsibility. CENTCOM posted a photo on X showing the Nimitz-class supercarrier sailing in the Indian Ocean with its deck packed with warplanes.
On the other hand, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has said that the blockade on Iran is expanding beyond the region, calling it global. Speaking in the Pentagon briefing room, he said the U.S. Navy is enforcing the blockade without hesitation, adding that Iran still has a chance to make a deal. According to Hegseth, more than 30 vessels have already been turned away from the Strait of Hormuz, as pressure on Tehran continues to build. An internal Pentagon email has outlined possible steps against NATO allies over their stance on the Iran conflict. The options reportedly include suspending Spain from the alliance and reviewing U.S. support on key issues involving Britain. According to a U.S. official, the proposals reflect frustration in Washington over some allies' reluctance to provide access and support for military operations.
Israel and Lebanon have extended their ceasefire for 3 weeks at a meeting at the White House brokered by US President Donald Trump, who said he was prepared to wait for the best deal to end his conflict with Iran. Trump said he was in no rush to reach a peace agreement and wanted it to be everlasting, while continuing to assert that the US had a clear upper hand in the naval standoff in the Strait.
France and Germany have reaffirmed their commitment to continue work on a joint next-generation fighter jet project. President Emmanuel Macron said both countries have tasked their defense ministries to move forward on the future combat air system, despite ongoing disputes between industry partners. The project, which also involves Spain, had faced uncertainty over control and coordination issues.
India has dismissed as uninformed comments shared by US President Donald Trump that described the country as a hellhole, saying they were inappropriate and inconsistent with the strong relationship between the two countries. The comments were made by conservative commentator Michael Savage in an episode of the Savage Nation talk radio show. Trump posted a transcript of the show on his Truth Social account on Thursday without any comments.
And the U.S. Justice Department is considering new execution methods, including firing squads, electrocution and gas, citing difficulties in sourcing lethal injection drugs. The report follows a push by Donald Trump to expand the use of capital punishment. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche has already authorized seeking death sentences in multiple federal cases, marking a shift after the previous moratorium.
That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.